Where were you in 1979 when this was #1 on the charts? This day in music history.
I was in the womb.
Right.
What year was this?
1979.
Oh, okay.
On this day in
I was
music
born
history.
12 years after that.
Really?
I know, he looks 50.
I know.
Chuck, introduce our guest.
Mr. Greg Berman.
Hi.
Comedian, TV star, you name it.
And jailbait.
Yeah.
Woo. For Chuck, right?
Yeah.
I did that.
1979 sucked because they did not have Blue and White Taxi's cruise app. In 1979, they went without
It was like the olden days.
the cruise app.
What
I don't
is
know
this
how
song
these.
called? What is it? What's the song?
Maybe it's called pop music.
Oh,
It's called pop music. I thought you were being
I thought you just did a Chuck and derailed the show right at the
His
beginning.
No.
brain's not done developing. He's a baby still. Stop it.
What
Leave
is
him
this
be.
song called?
Leave him be.
Primordial Gregism.
Still.
They're giving you the title every 4 seconds.
I can't even really understand what they're saying.
He's from the new generation. They don't do any of this techno stuff.
Anyway, back in 1979, they did not have the cruise app. And let me introduce you. Well, they'll introduce you. Hold on. Here it comes, the cruise app.
Introducing the Twin Cities' newest transportation app, Cruise. C-R-U-Z, with no surge pricing ever.
Cruise to that brewery.
Cruise to that concert.
Cruise to that ball game.
Cruise home from that party.
I like Tom Cruise.
No kidding. I do. Sensing a pattern? Cruise. That's C-R-U-Z, the new app that saves you money with no surge pricing ever. Book in advance and save even more with Cruise. Download the Cruise app. Follow him on Twitter at Time to Cruise to get weekly ride discounts.
Whenever you booze, use Cruise.
Download Cruise right now on iOS or Android.
Are you doing it right now? You're
Wait.
Yeah, I'm cruising right
Wait,
now.
what was that song called? Was that also from the 70s? I missed it.
That was called the cruise app.
The Cruise app.
We got lots to talk about on the show today. Stuff that happened overnight, both in the political world. Obama gets real. Yeah, he throws down on them Republicans.
Yeah.
Some folks are kicked off of a plane. Racism. The Vatican being busted for greed. What?
That's
And a
That's
big-
news?
And our buddy Tim Mahoney really killed it last night at the Flip Saunders tribute before the Wolves game. But first, let's get this show started. Shall we?
Congratulations. You found the Twin Cities hit show.
Very well. Where do I begin?
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
You're lucky to be here.
Thank you, sir.
Reach for this one.
And now, a real hit show.
They're laughing at you on the street.
Ain't nobody laughing at me on the street.
Behind your back, I seen them laughing at you, fella.
Live from the Twin Cities,
And I'll tell you another thing. Frankly, you're beginning to smell.
it's the Twin Cities hit show.
Oh, don't talk to me about clean. I ain't never seen you change your underwear once, and that's pretty peculiar behavior.
Coming to you live from the Alive and Social Network studios.
I don't have to do that kind of thing in public. I ain't got no need to expose myself.
No, I bet you don't. I bet you ain't never even been laid. How about that?
And now, let's get this hit show started.
I'm walking here. I'm walking here.
What's going on with Fiorina and her feud with The View? I see
I
on
don't know.
her CNN studio monitor.
Whoopi looks whipped up.
I think she's going on The View today. She's going to kick ass. It could be a bloodbath today on The Feud.
She's got an EGOT. She can do whatever the fuck she wants. Oh, can't
Bring
swear.
it.
What's an EGOT?
What is that?
An EGOT?
Yeah.
Yeah, again,
It's
you're
where you
20.
get. It's where you get an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony.
Which of those? do
There's
you
only a
have?
handful of people who have that.
Whoopi's one of them.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's Star.
Oh, boy.
She does not have an EGOT. She doesn't
No, but
have
she's
any
a
of the
lawyer.
EGOT.
She is a lawyer.
She needs to get her money back from that stomach stapling. Hers expired.
I think if you were to like, I think it'd be really cool to go and research what like the easiest thing to win is for all of those 4 awards. Like for the Tony Award, I bet it's the easiest to win. Like, you know, like one of the weird backstage ones. You know, like the ones that you really wouldn't have to rise up through the ranks of actors or something.
Sure.
You know, and for Grammy, maybe like sound design or something like that. I mean, I'm sure they're not easy, but
I think
like
the
just to go through and find out what the easiest ones would be and just go for it.
For the folks like Whoopi, the easiest is the Grammy. because
Right.
they do the spoken word
Right.
thing,
Comedy
or a comedy
scene,
album.
yeah.
That's what she won it for, was a
Did she
comedy
really?
album.
Oh,
Yep.
really?
Ugh.
She won it for
It
a
is
comedy
easy to
I
album.
win.
forgot
then.
she even did that.
And she got an Oscar for...
Color Purple? No.
Yeah, probably either that or like...
Ghost.
She got for Ghost.
Maybe that's what
She
it
got
was, yep.
Nominated
Gross.
for the Color Purple and then won it.
I don't
for
know what
Ghost.
she got the Emmy for. And the Tony, I'm not sure about either. I didn't know she was a stage actress, if that's what it was that she did. I imagine.
Yeah.
What did you get for your appearance last week on Chicago?
I got a pat on the back and nothing.
Got a big
You
fat
didn't get
paycheck.
money?
No, I got paid
What
for
do they
that.
pay you for something like that?
It's so I got paid. So they pay you a daily rate, and it was a SAG like union gig. So what they do is they'll pay you. So I was on set for 2 days, and then 2 days I had to be on hold, which means that I had to be around and available in case needed to reshoot anything. But I didn't have to be on set, but I still get paid for those. So for 4 days, I got paid $3,500. That's pretty good.
It's not
Wow.
bad. It's more than I'm making.
It's pretty solid for.
So you don't live
So
out
we-
there. You're here.
Yeah, we need to explain. Greg is a Minnesota comedian.
Yes.
But you were just part of a network show.
Yep.
And you played...
I played ex-Army Ranger John Radigan.
Wow.
Is he a bad guy?
Oh, he's a bad guy. Here's my quote. I don't. I'm a fan now. I actually taped the show for him, but here's. You're making a mistake.
You're making a big mistake.
Oh, see, he nailed the
right?
line I did.
Thank you.
Well,
Wow.
that's his line.
Did you
I
get-
would think
I
he
don't
would nail it.
Did you get
Did you really think you're going to out
I
do
think-
his
Yeah, I can
line?
outdo
You think you're gonna out Radigan the Radigan?
I can outright. I can OR the R.
I didn't get killed. No, I got arrested.
Oh.
So
So
that's not
maybe I
real.
can-
You might come back.
I might.
So it's based on reality because justice always prevails.
Exactly.
Good.
So we, excuse me, we're
Yummy.
promoted. Yeah, thank you. That was nice. There goes my Emmy.
I love Flem.
Wait,
They give Emmys
the
for
Flemmy.
podcasts.
The Flemmiest podcast goes to
The potty. That should be the potty. I've won the potty.
yeah, I win it every year. Kidding me?
And then if the potty becomes like a real thing, it could be the PGOT.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gonna win the podcast award.
gotta
then,
add to
the
it.
PGOT.
Yeah.
Peg it.
I have 5 Emmys.
My head hurts. Can I go home?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Last night, Tim Mahoney deserves an award because a lot of pressure. It was quite emotional. I was wondering what they're going to do, but before the tip-off, they had videotape of coaches from around the league saying how great Flip was, and then Tim went out there with just his guitar to start things. And then they played video of Flip's life on the scoreboard. The stadium was in dark blue colors, and the players all stood there, and there were tears.
Yeah,
A broken hallelujah.
Greg's lip syncing perfectly.
Yeah, lip syncing is like the coolest thing you can do on the radio. Everyone loves
he's
it.
nailing it, you guys. I don't know.
You just always need someone to tell everyone how I'm doing. Oh, he missed the word a little bit there.
Anyway, I thought it was good.
I used to
the
love,
write-up was.
I loved basketball during that brief time, like when, like, I watched basketball for like a 2-year period, but only when it was like Wally Zerbiak, Rasho Nesterovic, and Kevin Garnett. That was like the golden years for me as far as Timberwolves basketball
Is it because
goes.
they were
Timberwolves,
Russian?
yeah.
Well, Rasho was like Polish,
yeah.
I think, or Bulgarian
Same
or
thing.
something like that.
Right.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
pretty much,
whatever.
whatever.
Because Gregory,
Soviet.
you are from the Ukraine?
I am. Yes, I was born there. I moved to America when I was 7.
Oh, I didn't know.
7.
Yeah.
You just said, Mom, Dad, I gotta go.
Yeah. This place sucks.
I'm moving to America.
I feel a civil war coming. Putin might be here soon. I should go.
But you can write me.
No, I took him with me.
Oh, that's very generous of you.
I know, right? I was like, hey, come with
Do
me.
you still speak
Russian?
whatever?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Polish, whatever.
Yes, I
Bust
do.
them up. Prove it.
Bust out the Russian.
Yo.
Girls
From
love
Russia,
that.
though. Yeah, they do.
As soon as I say something in Russian on this podcast, you guys are gonna get flagged for some sort of like propaganda.
Yeah, we're hoping.
Oh,
we
good.
need the hit.
Do it.
Yeah.
We
flag
need
us.
all
Any
the attention.
publicity is good
Yeah,
publicity,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Я умею говорить по-русски. That means
Disagree.
I know how to speak Russian.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I don't believe
It's
it.
really boring.
Agreed.
I heard Ruski.
I could have just learned that one phrase and
So why did your parents move to America? What was the story
religious
there?
freedom.
Yeah.
As I stare at Chuck Gallup, who maybe understands as a fellow Jew.
Gollop, for God's sake, get the name right.
I like Gallup.
Me
Gallup.
too.
You need
Yeah.
to change
Gallup
that.
makes you sound faster.
Yeah.
But we all know I'm not.
Gallup
fast.
makes you sound like a horrible eater.
Yeah, that's true.
Also true.
Chuck trot.
Yeah.
The trots.
Yeah. No, I share the despair.
And so they came right away to Minnesota?
Yeah, what happened was, so my aunt and uncle were already here, my dad's sister.
Ah, okay.
And they came because they were, so you can call your relatives over as long as they're your direct relatives.
Like Red Rover.
Kind of, yeah. Red Rover. Send the Bermans right over.
The Bermans.
And then if we can get through the arms, we get to stay in America.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Wow. Does Donald Trump know this? Because he will put a stop to it.
That's the wall he's talking about.
This is the legal way to get into the United States. If you can break through the arms, you're in.
That's what Ellis Island was, just a huge game of Red Rover.
Come on over.
There's a sizable population of people from the Ukraine and Minnesota. I dated a gal.
Give us you're tired, you're hungry, and
You've
strong.
dated a gal from just about everything. Come on now.
Galina. I dated Galina.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Did you have to pay for her?
No.
It wasn't an order.
Oh, I bet he paid for it, though.
Couldn't have been all that expensive. Ukrainians are dropping in price.
That's
So
actually
the-
a good
the-
time to pick up a Ukrainian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Transition to becoming a Minnesotan, was that easy for you when you're 7 and 8 years old?
You know, it's weird. I don't remember much about it. I came to America. I didn't know English.
Yeah.
And then I just have this like chunk of time, like a year's chunk of time where I really don't remember all that much, but I know that after that I knew English.
Okay, you expect us to believe that.
I don't remember English. I don't remember learning English. I just
Right.
remember not knowing it, and I remember knowing it. I don't remember the time it took to learn it.
Really, Greg? You
Wow.
expect us to believe a year of your life just disappeared and we're just supposed to accept that?
Yeah,
No,
I
don't-
guess.
don't
I mean,
think so.
it's like it's there, but I just don't remember like the difficulty of like, oh, I don't know how to say this word, you know,
Right.
or I don't know. I just didn't know it, and then I just knew it, and that was it.
So it was magic.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I think when you're young, it's just like that. Like I
Yeah.
remember learning Spanish. Spanish sucked because I learned that in high school, and I remember all of the times I had to sit there and do my vocabulary and stuff.
Yeah, no, my youngest went through the Spanish immersion. So
Oh,
he's
did
been- He's been speaking Spanish.
They just
now.
put you in a Taco Bell and just let you do that while you're going to school.
Start working.
Authentic. Keep
or
it-
a
keep it
Chipotle.
authentic. Yeah.
Throw the hairnet on and away
Exactly.
he goes.
that should be the real Spanish immersion program. They put you in a kitchen of an Applebee's and you kind of walk out knowing a couple of key phrases.
Yeah, I feel like
Doesn't know how to do math, but he could make a killer breakfast burrito.
Spanish immersion at Taco Bell just would not fit.
So
Drunks.
when
Serving drunks.
when did you become a trader then?
When did I get
Yeah,
naturalized?
I know. I have audio here of you in Wisconsin and hating on our Vikings. Hold on.
You guys are football fans, of course. It's Wisconsin. You guys love the Packers. I love the Packers too, except I'm from Minnesota. I know, whatever. I've heard it all. This isn't even about the joke about the. I hate the Vikings too, but I had to. I got a Vikings jersey. I got a Percy Harvin jersey. Yeah, fuck me, because he got traded to the Seahawks like the next year.
It's weird listening to your own material.
No, it's horrible.
Like, I can't wear it to a Vikings
Thanks,
game.
Chloe.
You're welcome.
All right, so this was just part of a bit, right?
Did they have
Yeah.
you doing this show out in like a giant barrel?
It kind
How
of
does that
sounded
work?
like it,
You're in a
doesn't it?
barrel?
Bad audio. It's a funny joke though about you. Well, you explained it. The joke is now that you got a Percy Harvin jersey, he gets traded to Seattle, and it's kind of like you're stuck. You can't wear the jersey now.
Well, yeah. Well, I think I found out later that the actual tradition is to burn the jersey, but I paid good money for that, and as a Jew, I just can't burn something that I bought. That's in the Torah. That's like,
Right.
thou shalt not burn thy things that thou purchased
At Marshall's.
at Marshall's.
For $25. Yeah.
Jerseys are way more expensive.
Not a Marshall.
And if you wore the Vikings
Oh.
Percy Harvin jersey to the Seattle game, it's like what?
It's like wearing it's like reminding them that I used to be with her. That's the punchline of that joke here on the podcast on reviewing.
Yeah. That really worked. That
But-
resonates here. Yeah.
So you are. That's a joke. You are a Viking fan.
I don't know.
Are you a Viking hater, as you said to the Wisconsin people?
You know, I don't know. I don't really have a lot of allegiances to any given team because I play fantasy football. So like, it's hard to like any given team because it's like hard to root for teams when you play fantasy because
it's
with
Greg, you're a
fantasy
Minnesotan.
football.
It's not hard at all.
Yeah, but they suck. The Vikings are so terrible.
The 5-2 Vikings.
Yeah.
Well, this year they're okay.
I'm a
They'll
Bears
choke.
fan, so why don't you just suck it?
That's true.
That's good.
That's
Both
true.
of
You guys might lose Matt Forte for a couple weeks here.
That little thigh stinger.
Yeah, whatever.
He's on my
got
fantasy
going on.
team.
Yeah, he's on mine too. Everyone that's been hurt has been on my fantasy team. It's like a curse. I think I shouldn't play fantasy next year.
Fantasy hospital team.
I'm playing fantasy against this guy named Jerry. He's upset too. I can't.
I don't like to name names after a fucking game. But we can't be responsible for the blocking. We can't be responsible for the fucking guys jumping offside. We can't be responsible for we get down there and it was a dumb play by Anderson. I love Anderson.
Don't lose your shoe.
But it was a dumb fucking play when his foot was shoe was coming off
Oh,
the line
fuck.
screen. We were hard to time.
Anyway, we
The thing is that I think I might not play fantasy next year. You know, I've loved it and I've been playing it for like 5 years, but I think next year I'm not going to play and I'm just going to enjoy football as a sport. I can't enjoy it right now. I hate it. Every time someone gets hurt, I'm either really happy or really sad, and I should never be happy for things like that.
Yes, you should.
Like Le'Veon Bell got hurt, like tore his ACL or something, and I was like, fuck yeah, I got D'Angelo Williams. Like I was really happy this guy like could have ended his career.
You're a horrible person.
I have Alfred Blue too, so when Arian Foster got hurt, I was like, oh, thanks God for answering my prayers by killing someone.
Because you grew up in a war-torn country. It scarred you.
I think it's the competition. I got $20 on the line, you guys. I'm not
Where's your
about to
family?
lose.
They're coming over now.
Kurdish troops share meal.
Yeah,
Insight
Kurdish?
with C.
In our
No,
CNN
not Kurdish.
monitor. Yeah, I was the same way. I'm like watching the Bears-Vikings game going, screaming for Forte to run, but don't run. Just get over 100 yards.
Exactly, yeah.
Don't score.
Yeah,
well,
that's
score
gotta
once.
be weird.
It's really weird.
It is.
Because you're sitting there like, I need D'Angelo Williams to have 1 touchdown and 30 yards, but I can't have him have too many touchdowns because I have the other side's defense, so we can only lose 7 points on this one.
I couldn't even keep up.
It's a lot. It's a lot to know.
I like it.
That's the problem is I find that like I know way too much. I know way too much about football. I forgot my sister's birthday last year, and I know every knee surgery D'Angelo Williams has ever had.
It's a beautiful thing. Welcome to America.
It's terrible.
Jimmy Kimmel does something every year.
Love this song.
Whatever happened to these guys?
Marcy Playground?
Minnesota band.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, they're
I
from
love
Minnesota?
this
I didn't know
song.
that.
Yeah.
Wait, who's this?
Marcy Playground is the playground over by.
Marcy.
No, Marcy. It's called Marcy Playground.
Isn't it downtown Minneapolis?
No, I
somewhere?
think it's over by Dinkytown.
Yeah, it's by the U.
area.
Marcy Holmes is over
Yep,
there too. Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, is that what we're talking about?
Yep.
Well, that makes sense. They probably went to the U.
Good. I love it.
They're singing about sex and candy, and Jimmy Kimmel does something every year where he asks
I
the
love
people.
that.
Did you see this?
No,
year's?
but they're.
We could listen to some where he tells his parents, so the viewers who have kids, tell your kids that you've eaten all the candy, and the kids go horribly sad and upset. You're basically torturing your kids.
But the thing is, some of them I'd be embarrassed as a parent.
Oh, yeah.
To like show how horrible my kid is, and then the ones that are sweet, that's like, that's okay, mom.
Yeah, they don't have many. They don't have many of those.
No,
They're
but,
usually here. We'll listen. We'll listen to a little bit of it. Hold on.
Last night, after you guys went to bed, me and Dad ate all your candy.
Really? Or candy? Me, Mommy, Daddy, I hate everybody here, Daddy. Are you kidding me?
No, I mean,
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Dad?
I got really hungry and I ate it all.
So mean.
Wait,
No, it's not. It's
from the last time you told me a joke.
Well, this time it's not a joke.
I'm going to check out again. If I see no candy, you are in big trouble, young lady.
Daddy and I ate all the candy.
Wow, that's like harmony. Wow, that's incredible.
That was the Andrews sisters.
They're egging each other out.
One of them blows like a little pitch pipe.
Listen to that.
All right, you take low C. I'll do the high D. It'll be perfect.
Cops are on the way for this house.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Whoa. Hey, it's candy, man.
It's not for me.
Listen.
I wanted to try Skittles. I ate it, Daddy. Do you eat my candy? No, don't eat my candy.
God.
Oh, Daddy.
I want to hear one kid just cuss the parent out, just get really mean.
Peppers in there, turkey bottle.
There it is.
Turkey butthole.
Here, there's a couple pieces left in there.
Oh, God.
Hits
I ate all your Halloween candy.
They're hitting.
Now you're in trouble. Now you're in
You're
trouble.
smiling because you think it's funny, but he seriously ate every bit of your Halloween candy.
I love that they're hitting him.
Totally Jimmy Kimmel related and.
What did he say?
This is Jimmy Kimmel related.
Oh, no way.
Busted.
Sorry.
Sounds like my
We're
kid.
not falling for it.
Mommy
Nice.
ate all your
Here
candy.
comes the last sweet.
All your Halloween candy.
What?
And smoke all your cigarettes, too.
We're so white.
It's all right?
Yeah.
So you're not mad at Mommy or anything?
No.
Oh, I love you.
That makes me want to cry when they're so sweet like that. But
One of them.
Those weren't bad. It's like
No,
just the crying
yeah.
is totally normal. It's the little fat kids that
Yes.
lose
Hit.
their shit and
Yeah.
hit and go
Yeah.
nuts.
I just imagine them like punching the person in the face. Like, what are you gonna say at work? I walked into the door. I promise.
Oh,
Like-
my God.
Like an abusive relationship.
Last-
Kid abuses me.
Last year, there were some kids that were. I wouldn't have submitted it because it was so indicative of how horribly they're
You know,
parenting their kids.
I was at the SA and waiting. There was a mom in front of me. How do I say this? She was large, and her 3 kids were Honey Boo Boo larger.
Yeah.
And the
Oh, no.
shit they were buying, I wanted to go. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You understand why you're all this
Yeah.
size,
This is-
right?
yeah, this isn't
I mean,
regular.
I'm pretty much a glass house. I need to lose some weight, but good lord, it was armfuls of crap.
Like chips and
Oh,
candy and
they
shit.
each giant child had their own party-sized bag of chips and
Did
candy.
he look like my son's new friend?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not kidding.
Oh my god.
I mean,
Really nice,
the box-
Chuck. They're local, you dummy. What is,
it's his
what is
friend.
wrong with you?
Everything.
As I pass it
Friend,
over for him.
Yeah, what is wrong with you? Hey, I do want to give
Yeah.
a shout out to my daughter though, because every year, the day after Halloween, I call the dogs shit out the candy they stole from the kids the day before. My dog got on the dining room table and ate my daughter's entire bag of candy.
Oh, that like chocolate and everything.
Everything.
The dog
How was the
did.
dog alive?
I wish.
We'll see.
Yeah, no, he lived. Trust me, I cleaned it up yesterday. But my daughter
Wow.
really reacted well. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I let my kids just eat it all right away so I don't have to
Yeah.
deal with it. It's almost gone. I'm not
Nice.
even kidding you. It's
Yeah.
almost gone.
Yeah, no, my sons too. But my daughter took it really well.
So, how did your dog unwrap the candy bars?
No, he ate it. He ate it, and he shit out the wrappers later.
He walks
Oh.
out in the middle of the night, and the dog's just sitting there peeling off like Kit Kat, one at a time. One at a time.
Wearing some reading glasses.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm
Glass of chocolate milk.
Oh my
He's
goodness.
got the History Channel on.
What kind of dog do you
I
have?
like Almond Joys.
A pug.
A pug.
A pug. Okay,
Yeah.
they're
Very
stupid.
crafty. He's crafty.
A dog.
Is he?
He's dumber than a box. He's just,
A dog so ugly, I guess they're cute. I have just
No,
I
that's-
named it Rusty.
That's a Shar-Pei. That's like the really
The wrinkly one.
fat, like, well, they're not fat. They're just like, they look
Yeah,
like
they're like
they
what?
just went through lipo. Like,
Yeah.
they just
No,
have.
they had stomach stapling
Yeah.
surgery.
Now they need.
And they're all droopy.
You know, speaking of dogs, Margaret Cho was on now my new favorite late night show.
speaking of dogs.
Is she talks.
Speaking of bitches,
She talks about a dog.
Not
Good
funny bitches.
Lord. Stephen Colbert, he's my favorite now on the late night show these days. But she was on last night, and her joke about a dog segues into comedy and racism, which I thought was an interesting conversation. Hold on, here's
Recently, I was at a friend's house, and their dog went running out into 4 lanes of busy traffic. And so I was like chasing after it. I was like, stop! And all the cars stopped, and I grabbed the dog, and I realized it must have looked weird, this Korean lady running across 4 lanes of busy traffic to get a little dog. They must have been like, oh, she must be hungry. And so, but I'm Korean.
Speaking of which,
I'm Korean.
speaking of which,
Sorry.
speaking of which, let's talk about political correctness for a second.
Yes.
That is, for instance, a joke that I couldn't make.
No.
I couldn't.
And I'm delighted because it's like I'm so happy to make the racist jokes because I can't. You know, it's like these are jokes that have been. It's like I grew up in the era where it was all Asian driver jokes. So I would come on stage and I would say, "My name is Margaret Cho and I drive very well," and people would be taken aback because realize, oh, I didn't realize I was racist this whole time.
The audience didn't realize that they were racist.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
just more like we're hearing different kinds of voices.
Do you think that it might just be better if everybody just started with the baseline of, I'm going to assume I'm racist? when I'm talking about a race that isn't mine, because I don't know what that experience is like, and I have presuppositions about what it is like to be someone of another race or the behavior of another race if I think of a person as part of a race and as not of an individual.
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa.
So if I just started with... Hi, Stephen Colbert.
Yes.
Probably a racist. How are you?
No.
Is that a good way to start a conversation?
That's good.
I thought that was incredible.
I refuse to say that I'm a racist. Screw it.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of it.
I know.
Leave me alone. I'm not racist.
I find that it's just, I get the sentiment of if I've never experienced it, then I shouldn't talk about it. Like, I will never know what it feels like to be a black man in America because I'm not. I'm a white man. I won the lottery. Unfortunately, I'm at the top. That's just how it is.
Do you feel like that?
It kind of sucks.
Do you feel like you won the lottery being
Isn't
a white
that
man
how it
right
is?
now?
I mean, isn't that kind of what
I feel like you guys are a target.
We are. But that's what I'm
trying.
trying. Yeah, that's the thing, especially for like the feminism movement and all the other movements.
I don't think everyone's got to be all tippy-toed and watch what you say.
Oh
Is
my
that
God.
racist? Can I say that? I don't know. It's just I don't know what's coming, and I
it's
just
terrible.
The double standards where certain people can say certain things and certain words can have such power.
So it's
you guys, as male comics, you must walk that line all the time.
It's ridiculous because, like, for example, I found this article yesterday. This is on Men's Fitness, so not some shit publication, not some BuzzFeed article, right? Men's Fitness is like a fairly reputable thing that men probably look at quite a bit. This article is called 20 Things That 20 Real Women Say Make You Less of a Man.
Yeah.
And I read through some of them, and some of them were okay.
Yeah.
Some of them were like, "Don't be insecure, stand by your decisions, be strong, whatever." Right? Like not like physical, whatever. But some of them were like, if you care too much about what you look like, that makes you less of a man. Or like, if you are afraid of bugs, that makes you less of a man. It's like,
well,
what
that's
kind of
true.
Vapid,
That's true.
stupid women are they interviewing for this for this thing? Like, if it was 20 women that say 20 things that they think are unattractive, sure, but don't extrapolate it to all men not being. You know what I mean? Like, where's the people protecting like? Like, if this article came out about women, the internet would have blown up about now.
Well, you can have. All right, so that's true.
What can we say about women, by the way?
Nothing.
Nothing, because we'll get yelled at.
No, but let's get yelled at. What's our list?
What can you say or can't you say?
No.
She had 3 brothers.
You can't say anything.
She has 3 brothers.
If they're dressed a certain way, you can't say it's provocative. You can't say it's not. You can't say anything.
We can't.
I get
Slutty,
really
dirty
tired.
whore.
Well,
Can
I
you
get
say
tired
that?
as a female comic of hearing how hard it is to be a female comic.
Oh.
You get that all the time. It's so
yeah.
hard for us. Are you kidding me? It's like the golden ticket. I stand out because I'm in a bunch of guys. If you have one solid joke, you shine. You're a girl and you can be kind of funny. Yeah. That stands you out from every other white guy with a beard on stage.
Yep.
Okay. I will always.
And I don't mean to put down what you're saying. Because it
But
is,
go
it
ahead.
Is, it is a compliment.
But
you do not think like most women. I mean, you are very reasonable about this. So we need another woman in here.
That's right.
Because honestly, I think your opinion is very reasonable, and I don't think most women fall in line with you.
Well, how about?
Are you saying women are unreasonable, Chuck?
No.
Because we're gonna get in trouble.
Yes, I am. Women are unreasonable.
I can be unreasonable.
Chuck Gallup.
But can you get on like a black guy can get on stage and talk like a white guy, and it's so fine.
Right.
Is it okay? I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Does it bother you as white guys? But it's stupid that it's just there's rules for certain people, but not for others.
What sucks is that at one point, white men got to the top somehow, right? Whatever happened in Western civilization, we invented white guys invented guns first, and then we started taking over everything.
White guys invented a lot of shit first, so it's not just guns.
Right.
We're
Sorry.
awesome.
Well, I mean,
and now we're paying for it. Yeah. Now we're like,
for sure.
now we're the people here, and everyone wants the underdog. You know, like everyone wants to dethrone the white dude. And listen, like I'm not. Fine, please. I didn't do it. I didn't kill anybody.
Yeah.
I didn't invent guns. I didn't enslave nations. I just happened to be a white guy.
Yeah.
So don't yell at me for being at the top. I didn't
you
mean
weren't
to.
even here ever.
I wasn't. No.
Yeah. You're an immigrant.
Yeah, damn immigrant.
But I'm still a white guy.
Yeah.
And apparently that makes things easier for me.
Yeah.
The flip side is, though, because you recognize there is power and there have been laws in place that we need to make changes to make it an even playing field for everyone. So,
like what kind of laws? Like what? Do you
well,
mean?
I mean, if you go back to the '60s,
Oh,
you
for
know,
sure.
you know,
Absolutely.
and so
Yes.
there have been
Yeah.
big steps made,
Women's suffrage, all that stuff.
but those steps continue
Blah, blah, blah.
on to this day with the
I think that there are still strides to be made as far as like equality. I mean, just because I feel like as a white guy, I happen to have won the lottery as far as like race and gender. I want everyone else to win the lottery too. I don't
Right.
want to be alone up, here.
lonely
I didn't
at the
choose
top.
that. It just happens. It just happened.
Last night, a couple of folks got kicked off of Spirit Airlines. They happen to have been black.
Okay.
Here's the story.
Now, we have witnesses. This man wasn't causing any kind of problem. We have the flight attendants being rude.
Cell phone video shows law enforcement officers responding to a male passenger on board a Spirit Airlines flight Monday night. According to airport police, the man was upset that he and a fellow passenger had to surrender their seats, which Spirit apparently double booked to another passenger.
Here's the thing. Yeah, they charge $25 for the police response on that guy. Yeah.
You got a problem.
We stopped
Spirit
that for his joke. We just stopped that. Was that a joke or was that real?
And we
the couple another set of seats toward the front of the cabin, but the couple apparently insisted the switch wasn't fair.
The flight attendant proceeded to tell the man that he must switch because it
Life
is his assigned
isn't
seat, so he
fair.
must take his assigned seat. And he said, if the lady isn't asking, to move, why move? He said, sir, you must get up and move. He got up. They told him one time he got ready to get up and move. And the flight said something smart out of his mouth, and the guy said, I'm not talking to you. Don't talk to me. And after the guy said that, he said, well, sir, you need to get off this flight.
That's really messed up. According to a police report, 5 other passengers on board began questioning why the couple was being removed from the plane. When a flight attendant told them that they were beginning to disrupt other passengers, they too were escorted off the plane by police.
I'm really humiliated.
And they are all of the same color.
Just for the simple fact.
What's that?
The cops were black?
No.
Oh, the people removed off.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the 5 people all removed. So I'm just wondering if this is going to blow up into some story
That
later today.
you hear about this type of stuff happening in America, discrimination issues and stuff like that, but to
Probably.
actually experience it firsthand.
In a statement, Spirit Airlines says the passengers became unruly and were causing trouble with other passengers. The flight crew asked them to stop. When they did not, law enforcement was called and they were removed from the flight.
Come fly with me, let's fly.
Did you add that song at the end of the day?
No, I didn't.
Call him.
Oh, yeah. CNN loves playing
They're
that
like-
song. Yeah.
He's going to get a potty.
You should get a potty. That was really good.
Yeah, so I wonder if this is going to be.
I'm sure it'll be a flavor of the week
Well,
for a
I
while.
hope that
and
there's
people will be
video
upset.
of them being
Right.
assholes preceding
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Because I have
Or-
a feeling that maybe they
Well,
were
then why are they
being-
videotaping?
Or vice
That's
versa.
racism. Why are you videotaping?
Or vice versa. Or I hope that there wasn't video, and then we can go, yeah, they shouldn't have done that, and then they can get punished, the cops or whatever. You know what I mean?
Why?
I wish. No, I just
I
hope
want-
that there's
yeah.
definitive evidence in either
Right.
direction. I don't want to persecute any given side unless I know what definitively
There
happened.
won't be because there's
There
two
is
sides to it. and-
there is cell phone video. I don't know where it begins because there's always stuff that goes on before
Sure.
the video
Right.
begins.
Yeah.
But yeah, that happened last night. So
I've never been on a flight, and I've been on lots of flights, and there's always been black people and Chinese people and whatever. I've never, do you really think just for the hell of it, they were like, you guys, let's get out. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
We don't like
Yeah.
black people.
I'd
Get
like
off our
to
plane.
think that's not the case, but then there are some videos that you're just watching. You're like, man, I don't know what happened here, but this seems a lot
Sure.
like that video that cop roughhousing that girl in the high school.
Yeah.
Like
That was a
I don't
little
know what
aggressive.
We still haven't talked about that. Yeah.
Right, I don't know what happened before, but
Right.
I know what
do
happened before.
And maybe
she was a snotty, shitty kid.
And the kids actually
still
that are-
doesn't deserve her being slammed.
No, but I'll
Right.
tell you something. I have an uncle in Chicago area that was a school liaison. And what he should have done differently is had the kids leave the room before he
Right,
did that.
right.
You listen to your grown-ups.
Yep.
Sorry, she was hitting him.
Yeah, I know she was.
He put his hands on her to remove her after he told her 3 times, "I'm gonna come and get you
Right.
if you don't stand up."
If you follow the use of force continuum, that was a reasonable use of force.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
I disagree. It was a reasonable use of
Well,
force.
that is how cops
he's been
are trained
He
fired.
didn't
across
get.
the
Well, he'll
country.
get his job back.
I don't think he
The
will.
the sheriff threw him
He's
under
already
the bus.
he has
I
a
know he does.
prior
I do.
that was also equally aggressive.
The kids liked him. And the kid that was videotaping, who happened to be another black
No, he
kid,
didn't have a
liked
prior.
him.
He was deemed not negligent, and there was no lawsuit.
There was something
there was an
level
accusation.
2 an accusation, but it came out that he was fine.
There were details of it, though, that contradict him getting off.
Details.
All right.
The details of
There's
it are
a-
what...
there's
Well,
a
my
bunch of
details are I saw the
details.
video
Right.
and she
Right.
was
It's
not armed and
uncomfortable.
she's a student and it does not deserve her being slammed
Here's
to the
what
floor.
happened.
I
No,
totally
she got
agree.
pulled out of a. She got
Right.
pulled out of a chair. She didn't slam her to the floor.
I'll
She
show
pulled
you
her-
the
He did.
video.
He did. It
No,
was
I know.
total slam to the floor.
Here's what happens in a use of force continuum.
What
You
have I
walk
done?
in, your presence...
Way to go.
Your
Sorry.
presence is a use of force. By being an officer, your presence is the use of force. That's step 1.
Right.
Step 2, verbal commands. And he said, "Are you going to get out of the desk?" And he asked her 3 times.
She said no.
Right.
Or she
And
didn't say anything.
anytime you are offered resistance, you can go +1. In other words, your presence, you can step up 1 to verbal commands, and from verbal commands, you can go hands-on, which he did, empty-handed tactics.
And
Which
she put his hands on her
Yes.
as he told her he was gonna.
Yeah.
She punches him in the face.
And once
She
that
did?
happens, he can
Oh.
go +1. And again, he was matching her on her empty-handed tactics with empty-handed tactics.
Right.
Now, that being said, get the kids out of the room first.
Yeah, that's
Right.
Second of
that
all,
was
he
his
did.
mistake. Keep
He kind of used what I would say. I don't want to say overwhelming, but a very strong use of force by throwing her across the room.
Right.
But within the use of force continuum, that's appropriate.
Still a
That's-
+1.
That's,
listen. You're not doing kids any favors
Right.
by saying that it's okay to
Right.
not listen.
Right.
That's
It's
the
just-
opposite, and I'm not saying that either.
Yeah. No,
Hell
I know.
no,
And
I'm
I
not
agree
saying.
that it's uncomfortable
Right.
to see.
Yeah.
It
It's
wouldn't-
it's wrong. He
Why
should
is
have been
it wrong?
fired. He was fired.
I don't know that
because
it
she's
was.
a child and she's unarmed. No one was going to
He
die.
didn't shoot her and he didn't
doesn't-
tase
you
her.
don't
He
have
could
pulled
have
her out.
broke her neck
He
with
didn't.
that move.
He didn't.
Yeah.
She's lucky.
Yeah, that's again. I've talked about this over
You
and
don't
over.
do that.
You know how this doesn't
He deserved
happen?
to have been fired. He was fired.
You
Good.
know how this doesn't happen? You don't tell the police no. When the police say you
Right.
are coming
And
with
you
me,
don't tell your teacher no, and then you don't tell another
Yes.
teacher that came in
They
no.
did.
It still doesn't deserve the action.
Why?
She was wrong. We all agree she was wrong.
So what do you do with
Right.
the use of force?
Then you
continuum?
do. Then you say, so what? Class dismissed. You guys are all free to go. You get the principal in. You call the parents. You go. You can sit here all day. Then you know what? You are going to be kicked out of this school.
Right, so you get to
is
sit
what's
here
gonna
all day,
happen.
and all the other students don't
Yeah,
get
and
school
everyone
that
else
day.
gets
Right.
disrupted.
Versus
Yeah.
almost breaking
He
her
didn't.
neck.
She didn't
Yes.
almost. He pulled her out.
I guess.
Listen,
I guess the thought is that like, I can see what
if
Chuck
that were
is.
my kid, I wouldn't have a problem with
I
that.
can see what Chuck is saying
wouldn't.
as far as like.
I wouldn't.
As far as
If
like.
my kid was doing
how do
that,
you know what she's
What
going
do
to
they
do?
They
have a problem with
escalated.
that.
My
They
kid would
started
never
with
do
No,
that.
exactly.
Right.
They started with the teacher. They went to the administrator. They called the cop. The cop goes, "Oh, well, I can't touch you because Rusty says that this would be inappropriate." So now what do? We call. Oh, we could call like the county commissioner, and then we can work our way up to the president of the United States. And
I
we'll
think
all be in this
that. I think
stalemate.
that. I think that it's hard to tell
Common
even with
sense
kids.
says you don't
say no to the
almost
police.
break
They
Even with
tell you to
kids,
get out of your desk.
she could have theoretically, like, I mean, if she went for his face and punched him in the face, she could have hurt him more. She didn't, but she could have. So, I mean, I don't know. I think that in a moment like that, it's hard to be logical sometimes, and I think that, you know, like, force means force, and you just start doing things, and you got to do things to assuage the situation. So
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, could he have maybe
Right.
thrown her
Yeah.
Go a
less
little
hard?
more. Absolutely.
Yes, he
Yeah.
could
Yes,
have.
I agree with
he
you there.
should have
I
thrown
agree
her
with
less.
you there.
You
But
know,
It's
in
just
a-
like the cop this summer who had the girl eating sod in at the Texas pool
Yeah.
party.
Sure.
Yeah.
like in an
That was
emotional
too
situation.
much.
Yes.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But
Agreed.
it's easy for us to sit from this chair and say that was too much, and it's way difficult to be there in the moment when
Right.
it happened.
But
and say
if
it's too
that's
much.
your job, I get
Right.
it. It's your
It's
days
just
get
hard,
stressful
yeah.
and everyone makes mistakes. Well, then you need to be suspended or fired.
It just
or
sucks
whatever.
because if a cop makes a mistake, it makes YouTube immediately.
Yes,
like
oh,
I've
absolutely.
made mistakes at my job, but they're generally not as
I
racially
made 3
charged.
on my way over here.
Right.
But who wins in the
Viking
collective?
hater.
Who wins in the collective? Because now she's validated. The cop
Yep.
is
No,
fired.
I don't think she's
Yep.
validated.
Absolutely.
Oh,
she's
validated.
like this victim.
She's validated
yeah.
by
Right.
you.
Yep.
No, she's not.
No, he didn't validate.
I
her.
No, he
start
didn't
off by
validate.
saying
Right.
she's a shitty
Right. Yeah.
person.
But
Yeah.
ultimately,
and she
it's
continues
okay.
to be a shitty person. That video
No
doesn't
matter
make her
what,
an angel.
no matter what the race is, like even if
Oh,
no
yeah.
matter what race
Oh, yeah,
a child's
totally.
being an idiot.
Don't say no to the police.
Yeah.
I don't see any social media that has her as a hero.
Oh, I see a lot of
Yeah.
it on
Really?
Facebook.
Yeah.
Just everyone's
but that's
like victim
easy.
I have a
shaming
feeling you
and-
swim in these conservative
No, I
right-wing
don't. No,
waters.
no, I don't.
Swim in the
I am
conservative
middle of the
right-wing.
road. I'm a pragmatist. pissed.
The Atlantic is conservative.
Is this the last episode of this show? What did I've broken up the dream team. I bring up a topic, everyone leaves me like, fuck Chuck. no one likes him anyway, or Colleen.
You know, we're pressing up against a break. Let's bring something that's not as controversial. Hold on.
Good morning. Police unions across the country,
damn it.
in New York City, Philadelphia, Chicago, and Los Angeles, are all slamming Quentin Tarantino as a, quote, utterly irresponsible cop hater. It comes after comments Tarantino made at an anti-police brutality rally in New York City late last month.
I am a human being with a conscience, and when I see murder, I cannot stand by.
Director Quentin Tarantino has a history of creating controversy with his ultra-violent movies.
What? Say what again?
But his comments about real-life violence on the part of police appear to have triggered as much backlash as any of his cult classics.
And I have to call the murdered, and I have to call the murderers, the murderers.
Tarantino was referring to the recent deaths of unarmed African Americans at the hands of police. The statement came several days after an NYPD officer was killed in the line of duty, and multiple police unions are calling it irresponsible speech that makes police officers even bigger targets, saying it's time for a boycott of Quentin Tarantino's films.
A lot of the national police organizations are now getting on board on the idea of, attempting to boycott the film, the next film that's coming out.
Tarantino isn't the first celebrity to make a statement about police brutality, but his may be among the most controversial.
Remember what Fozzie Bear did?
Like,
waka, 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 Black Lives Matter.
If the murderer's murdering, call the murders out by the murdered because they've been murdered. Murders.
Sounds like Bill Cosby.
Oh, no. Police officers will... They're going to stop watching Quentin Tarantino movies?
I tell you what, and I was
that's so
I was
bad.
big into this cause stuff and the Ben and Jerry's thing with their Ben and Jerry's put money toward this guy trying to free a cop killer.
Mm-hmm.
And so for a while I tried to boycott like Sean Penn, Susan Sarandon, and Ben and Jerry's. Fuck that. It's really good ice cream. Great movies. I couldn't.
Still, at least one Hollywood superstar is coming to his defense.
Quentin Tarantino, you are a boss. You're absolutely amazing. Keep speaking the truth and keep telling the truth. And don't worry about none of the haters. I'm going to let you know that right now.
Good.
Get in, boys!
It's unclear if calls for a boycott will impact Tarantino's upcoming film, The Hateful Eight, which opens Christmas Day. Tarantino is reportedly planning to address...
Merry Christmas, everyone. Now that we've celebrated the birth of Jesus, let's go see the Hateful Eight.
I just don't. They're Quentin Tarantino. What are they going to do? So all the cops don't go see Quentin Tarantino movies.
Right.
What, does Quentin Tarantino lose money for that? No.
Well, I think he's actually backpedaling now, and I think
is.
the Weinstein.
Really?
Yeah.
That's his publicist's move, not Quentin's move.
Harry
Angry about
Weinstein or
police
whatever.
violence, and if there's a way for him to put that in context and say, look, I wasn't talking about all police. If he can do that, I think that he can still stay true to the integrity of what he meant and also mollify those people who really feel offended.
Thank you very much.
So if you're a publicist now, do you have to have like a sociology degree? Like in general, like because I'm sure most like Hollywood publicists have to be able to like really speak very clearly about those kinds of issues and know how to like maneuver their way through that.
It's best not to call people that you're going to depend on, especially as a person that needs just needs security and stuff. You might not want to like call them out and call them murderers.
Right.
And he needs to.
He made it way too volatile in a blanket statement.
Yeah.
Cops are murderers.
Yeah.
No, specify. Is there someone that was charged and is guilty?
John Berman
is a murderer. Yeah.
Well, have you seen James Comey, whatever it is, the director of the FBI, has come out and said that all this anti-law enforcement backlash is spilling forward finally, and arrests are down and crime is way up. Because cops are afraid to act.
Yep.
And
then I also heard if you're wearing, the camera, the ones that are afraid to act are the bad cops. The good cops should have no issue.
No. I would be
good cops should have no issue with it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Because you can misinterpret anything and say anything.
The issue we talked about today, this guy acted within policy, and that is the standard policy instructed across the nation to every police officer.
By the way, I love James Comey. He's a very smart guy, in my opinion, the head of the FBI.
But so that's what happens. Every single thing you do comes into question.
Right.
I was in a situation where I could have and probably should have shot a guy. And he had just held someone hostage, and I ended up in the basement with this guy. He's holding her at knife point
Is that
hostage.
when you met Tim Mahoney?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's exactly. He eventually released the hostage.
Did you have to negotiate that?
Yeah. So at gunpoint, I'm saying, release the hostage, release the hostage. He releases the hostage, and I'm 10 feet away from this guy in the basement. I'm pointing a gun at him. He's got a knife, and he does the fake charge at me, like, ooh, trying to get me to shoot him. I didn't shoot him at that moment.
Right.
And we ended up in a standoff.
I shot him later when he was handcuffed in the back of the
car. And peed on his corpse. But that's beside the point. That's a legitimate use of force. So I just remember thinking, I either have to do it now or I'm stuck. Because once 5 other cops show up, there's going to be different versions of what happened if we end up having to shoot him.
Right.
And it's kind of a lost opportunity.
So in that
lost opportunity.
No, but I'm saying
that's how you end that. There were no cameras around. There were witnesses.
I've always thought I would have shot someone by now.
Okay, that was maybe a
missed opportunity.
A poor choice of words. But we ended up in a standoff with the guy.
It sounded like you did the correct things.
Yes.
And it all yes and no.
You have regrets.
The reason I didn't shoot the guy, honestly, is because I was 10 feet away from him. And had I shot him, I thought he's probably still going to get to me, no matter how many times I shoot at him. And it's that moment where he flinched, and I flinched, and I didn't shoot him. Of course, the guy... we ended up in a probably half-hour standoff with the guy trying to get him to put the knife down. He ended up going to prison for it, and after prison...
Well, he put the knife down, so it ended without any death or murder.
Well, he put the knife down because we had to shoot him a bunch of time with beanbags.
Oh, you did end up shooting him with beanbags?
That's how we resolved it. Just brought in less lethal munitions and shot the hell out of him with beanbags.
Wow. What about tasers
considering
and stuff?
The guy ended up going to prison and then doing way worse when he got out of prison, it kind of was an opportunity.
Wait, so why not tasers? Why was that not a part of the...
tasers were...
Oh.
And actually, they wouldn't have worked... I think we were just probably...
Could you not shoot a taser that far? I mean, how far can you shoot a taser?
Probably within the range of what would be not working for taser.
Really?
Beanbags work well. In any event, and translating what we're talking about with this guy in the desk, if he follows procedure and he still gets thrown onto the bus, other people see this. Even if they're not analyzing it, the other cops are looking at this going, I don't know if I want to arrest this guy today. Cops in the metro, and I've heard this from many of them, don't leave their stations anymore. They just like, you know what, if I get a call, I'll take it. But I'm not going to drive around.
And they need to be off the force. We need the good cops out there.
I don't think any cop wants to do anything because everything is on video. And
I think
if you're doing good things, who cares if it's on video?
In my head, I keep comparing it to this. Like, sometimes I don't have any kids, but I know that sometimes with kids you got to be the bad guy, right? And sometimes they don't see at the time of the thing that you're being the bad guy. They don't see why you're doing it. Yeah. But in the long run, it's a good thing that you've done that because you've either taught them a lesson at that time. And of course, this is not a perfect comparison, but at that time. So if that kid were to go to other kids and say what you did, my mom took all of my candy, won't let me have it for a month. All the kids will go, well, that's unfair and that's stupid and whatever. But what they don't realize is that you're doing the right thing. Right. I think that cops are like our parents, and I think that they have to be the bad guys sometimes, and we have a really hard time like dealing with that. That these people are the bad guys, but they're the bad guys for sometimes a good reason. You know what I mean? Like, I think that that's kind of how it is, because we're like the kids going to each other going, aren't these guys the worst? They keep doing this stuff. And I'm not saying that, and there are shitty parents, just like there are shitty cops. And unfortunately, we focus on the shitty cops more than we focus on the good cops.
That I will 100% agree with.
And in the same way that there's shitty parents
for
and
every
and
100 great things that the cops are doing on a daily basis,
we
it's the
focus
one
on
thing
the bad
that makes
guy.
the headlines.
Yeah. And unfortunately, there's always going to be shitty cops, but this is the same thing, I feel like.
And that's the mistake, and that's what's making cops unsafe, is the constant putting that on Facebook and the news, and look at this again, another cop, horrible. It's just
let's punish the bad ones, but let's not
if there's
crucify
bad
all of them.
And we are catching now bad behavior. That needs to be recognized. You can't look the other way.
But you don't have to. But why does everybody in the world have to be involved in it? Take care of it within your family, the dirty laundry out for everyone to see. It gives people this feeling that we don't have to listen. They're bad, and therefore it keeps everyone unsafe. It makes the cops unsafe and other people unsafe. So I think that just deal with it. Deal with it in your precinct or whatever, how you want to do it. It doesn't have to be everyone's business. It's not.
To that point, every 16-year-old who watched that video of the kid in the school goes, I don't know what happened before that, but I know that cop threw the kid, and everyone says that was too hard. So you know what? I can speak up. And if I'm pissed off at my teacher, and you're thinking,
no, and
like
then you go,
16-year-old,
guess what, Timmy? Speaking up, that's
Can't do
inappropriate.
that.
What
Yeah.
you're doing, you're now suspended, or you keep it up, you're kicked out of the school.
You're suspended
Next.
if it's okay. We don't want to send you.
Next.
Right, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, though, my sister is a teacher.
You're going the other way.
and it's ridiculous how kids talk to.
I wouldn't
teachers.
tolerate it.
But you
Right.
can't.
But
You
how
go
can you
ahead
not tolerate it?
You kick them out of school!
How do you kick them out of
parents
school
don't
if they
care.
won't leave the building?
Their parents
Could they just go,
don't
no, I'm
Come
not leaving.
on.
Yeah.
There's other ways than muscle.
Okay, so
to
what do you
get
do?
them out.
Just lock down
Are you
the school?
serious? You
A dolly, get a dolly,
You think-
and
Yeah.
bungee cord.
No.
It's really easy. It's really
Timmy's
easy.
going to stay there like Gandhi right on through the Christmas break and starve to death.
You'd be
Right, but
Timmy's
in
going to
the-
go
Stand
home.
up, you're
But in
You're-
the-
you know you're just making
But in the
bullshit
mean, but in
statements.
the, but in the
You
mean,
believe Timmy will sit in that classroom
But what do
like
you do
Gandhi
when
and starve to death?
The ultimate force and the ultimate authority in this is the police officer who gets called in. And the police officer, well, I can't.
If the police
I can't do
officer
anything.
almost breaks a child's neck, he needs to be fired.
Yeah, but I told the kid she was under arrest and she didn't want to go, so I guess nothing I can
then
do.
you dismiss. Yes, there is. That's
Okay.
what I'm
What do
saying.
you
There
do?
is things you can do.
What do you do?
First of all, you dismiss the class and go, this has happened. And now all this bad behavior is going to compile and grow bigger on this child who's being insubordinate. Then you call their parents. Then you call the principal.
and those parents that obviously haven't haven't been active in raising them up until this point don't give a shit.
Is it well? But then maybe some epiphany will happen.
Yeah.
And go,
If
oh my
that's
God,
the
we've
case.
raised
Yeah.
a monster. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Does it ruin the handful of people's day? Sure. You just put all that, pile it on. Okay, Tim. I know you're a big fan of the gal who got thrown around on that YouTube video, but it ain't happening today. Today you're going to leave. You're now detention. From now until summer, you're in detention.
I mean, if it's okay, we'll put you in detention. But if you
I
don't
know,
want to go
fuck
to detention,
you. It's not. If it's okay, Timmy.
Well,
would
you
you
know,
like
what-
a glass of water?
that's
No,
because
I'm not going the other way. Don't put words in my mouth.
Okay,
I'm
well-
saying this kid is going to be held accountable. He's in trouble. He's going to be.
This isn't unusual.
Yeah.
it just,
Oh, this
it
isn't-
could keep
okay.
escalating. At what point do you put a stop to it?
Greg,
You
just,
know Timmy's not going to sit there and starve himself to death.
it's a dysfunctional family.
I love this.
You're
This
having
is
dinner
great.
with us.
No, this is great.
And it's
Mommy and
awkward.
Daddy are
Yeah,
fighting. I think it's the consequences, right? Like
Yes.
people aren't as
You
afraid
don't-
of the consequences in both directions. Like in both directions, I think both the kids are not as scared of the cops because they'll think, well, if I put a YouTube video up, then I'll be free.
I do not
But in
want
the
to
same way, it's the other
see
way around.
Kick-ass cops in my kid's school with billy clubs. You're late to- I don't want that.
Right.
Tanks on the campus.
No,
type
but I
of
think because your
macho
kids are lucky
behavior.
enough. Your kids are lucky enough to be in the Minnetonka school systems. But like
With
my
parents.
uncle does Chicago, you kind of want a cop presence there. You do, and
Okay.
it's just
What about this situation?
He's mediating.
What if there's a kid at the school that your kid is in,
right?
And there's a kid who's bullying your kid,
yeah.
And the teacher says, "Hey, you need to stop,"
right?
And that kid goes, "No,"
right?
And he's like hurting your kid at this point,
right?
And you got to stop.
Emotionally
and then a cop,
or physically? Where
doesn't
are we going?
matter either
Okay.
way. Your
All
kid's
right.
being harmed,
Yeah.
right? Then a cop comes in. How much force are you going to be okay with using here?
If the cop should shoot the bully in the head.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So really, we just have.
Come on, fuck you! You're going way the other way, Russ.
Yeah.
Well, but this is my kid, Sean.
I think I've unlocked this whole situation. You
Rusty's
guys.
honesty. I love his honesty and his candor.
I think I've unlocked the situation, folks. I think what we have here is not really an activist.
Yeah.
We just have a really protective father.
And tomorrow,
All
tune
right.
into the Twin Cities
Hey,
Show with
let's take
Greg
a-
Berman.
Let's take a
and
quick.
Colleen
Let's
Johnson.
take a quick break. I got a mouth off my brow.
Okay.
The Twin Cities Hit Show. We'll be right back.
Third Street Brewhouse, built on a perfect site in Cold Spring, Minnesota, combining the state-of-the-art brewing facility with exceptional water. Hello, did we mention Cold Spring, Minnesota? They have a dream team of world-class brewers, resulting in unprecedented crafted beers. The core styles of Bitter Black IPA, Lost Trout Brown Ale, and Rise to the Top Cream Ale are intriguing yet satisfying. And look forward to seasonal and specialty beers. Nothing fancy, no fuss. It's all about the beer at Third Street Brewhouse. MacMen. Don't Don't let your computer problems drive you mad. We are MacMen, Minnesota's premier tech consultants and problem solvers for Macs, mobile devices, troubleshooting, training, and much more. No more dragging your computer all over town because we come to you. We love making house calls to your home or small business. MacMen. Call 612-345-8005.
The Rusty Gatenby Review is the entertaining show about entertainment from movies, music, and more. Award-winning TV guy Rusty Gatenby and his review is the podcast with the biggest cast in entertainment. Part of the Alive and Social Network. You can get that Minnesota connection to Hollywood and beyond any time of the day or night simply by clicking on the RustyGatenbyReview.com. That's the RustyGatenbyReview.com. Part of the Alive and Social Network.
Introducing the Twin Cities' newest transportation app, Cruise. C-R-U-Z, with no surge pricing ever.
Cruise to that brewery.
Cruise to that concert.
Cruise to that ball game.
Cruise home from that party.
I like Tom Cruise.
No kidding. I do. Sensing a pattern? Cruise. That's C-R-U-Z, the new app that saves you money with no surge pricing ever. Book in advance and save even more with Cruise. Download the Cruise app. Follow him on Twitter at Time to Cruise to get weekly ride discounts.
Whenever you booze, use Cruise.
Download Cruise right now on iOS or Android.
You're listening to the Twin Cities Hit Show. Say it 3 times fast. We just dare you.
Baby, what you doing now? You're pissing me off.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel like I lost an opportunity to shoot Greg in the face.
I love how you
It was
guys.
a missed opportunity.
I love how you guys call this the hit show. It's like Toby Keith's "I Love This" bar. It's like you guys are just forcing people to enjoy the content you're putting out. Hey, you guys, check out the hit show. What's it called? It's the hit show. This is the one. It's the show.
Haven't you heard?
It's
Haven't
the
you
hit
heard?
show.
Wait, say that fast. The shit show. Oh, yeah. There you go.
You guys should have just called this like Chuck Gallup's "I Love This" podcast.
The potty winner.
The potty winners.
4 times in a row. Speaking of which, there's this is the Alive and Social Network, and there's a whole bunch of shows. Are they close to like 30 shows now?
30.
Apples to Apples is a huge success, and we want to get the
What
host
is that
Scott
one
and Drew
like?
on. It's a father-son. They talk sports, but from a
Fun.
dad-son dynamic.
Yeah.
And they've got lots of listeners, and we're going to try and get them on the show
And if
next
he
week.
doesn't behave, I will drag that kid's ass out of the chair so fast.
I would love to talk to the dad.
You know what you
about
guys
his
should do?
parenting.
You guys are all parents, right? You guys should find ways to get kids in here to argue like topics like gun control and stuff. I think it'd be really cool to hear like
My
5-year-olds
kid, yeah.
talk about this. Like I wonder what a 5-year-old would have said in the conversation we just had before the break.
They would have been crying.
They would have,
some
yeah.
tears.
They would have. But like if we were to tone it down, not you know what I mean?
And not drop the F word.
Yeah, no F words. And then just let the kids talk about it and just see what they think because their mind is so innocent. They're not trying to think like, what can and can't I say on the radio? They're like, I'm just going to say what I think.
When the Adrian Peterson story first broke, I said we should go out and do a story and interview 5-year-olds and ask, what do you think of Adrian Peterson?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the news director was like, we ain't going there.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea.
And this is kind of funny. Yesterday, I noticed on Facebook that talking about we got a week of clean shows. Are we supposed to clean it up?
Yeah.
Oh.
Clean slate. No, I said clean slate.
Oh, clean slate.
Hey,
Clean shows, no.
Let's set the palette differently, and let's find out what each day of the week is this week, shall we? Today is...
Tuesday is National Sandwich Day.
Yeah, I
Celebration
love
of
sandwiches.
bread
What
on
the
bread.
hell? Sandwiches?
The convention is credited
Whatever.
to the 4th Earl of Sandwich.
Chuck loves
back in the
sandwiches.
I do
1700s.
not.
Attack him.
I hate sandwiches.
On Wednesday, Forbes releases its annual list
I
of
hope
the
I'm on
world's
the list
most
this
powerful
year.
people.
Ooh.
Russian President Vladimir Putin topped last year's list.
Settle
Nice
down,
guy,
Greg.
right, Greg?
Settle down, Greg.
Thursday is National Men Make Dinner
About
Day.
a half-mast on that
When
one.
men are encouraged to cook dinner for the family,
Aw.
using at least 4 ingredients and at least 1 cooking utensil other than a fork. Friday sees the
guys are
official
stupid,
release.
right?
You know
Are
what?
guys so
Rules.
stupid?
If it was,
Ridiculous.
if Thursday was women cook dinner for the family this day, then this podcast would already be taken off air.
Which, by the way, I make the dinner for my family every day.
But that's
because
the thing.
I know.
That you guys are stupid, right? You can't. You have to
No.
do
Yeah, we
stuff.
can't even do
You can't do
anything.
things, and
No.
it can't. You have to use a utensil and not just a fork, dummies.
Here it's
Of
Friday.
the cutting edge. 1965, 1966. The 12th in a series of albums of Bob Dylan bootleg recordings.
Bob Dylan Day Friday.
And Saturday is the day for the first Comic Con, a one-day festival celebrating women in comics and cartooning. To be held in Dearborn, Michigan.
Oh, I bet you the Geek Show's going to be all over that.
All they could afford was Michigan. Yeah. They couldn't put Comic Con in a nice place.
We were talking about kids.
Branson was taken.
new research on smartphones and kids. How many hours
My
a
kids
day?
don't have them.
Oh, you're kidding me. Oh.
How
I'm
old?
hardcore.
Oh.
How old is the oldest?
23.
14, 13,
The
10.
teenagers don't have cell phones of any sort?
Nope.
Shit.
So you can't text and go, where are you? And come pick me up.
No.
Oh, my 9-year-old has
I
one.
told you we're going to pick you up at 10 o'clock at this place. You'd be there at 10 o'clock.
Nice.
That's what I did when I was a kid.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. My 9-year-old.
She has an
one.
iPod
Yeah.
that you can, but it's very much more for
Issued through the school?
No, I don't let her have one. She doesn't need one yet. I mean, at some point I can see it happening, but right now it's just they're really
at some point technology. Now.
Yeah, no, they don't have anything like that.
I don't know how kids like get through high school anymore. Man, when in high school, and I'm not. I mean, I was in high school like recently, relatively speaking.
Shut up.
That's your point.
Well, even when I was in high school, like if you wanted
Throw
to
him to the ground, Chuck.
If you wanted to goof off,
I will.
you would just kind of have to imagine fun things. Like you just dinosaurs are cool. Let's think about that for a little bit. Or play like a level of Bejeweled. Like I don't know how kids are getting through high school with smartphones. I wouldn't do anything else.
No, it's crazy, and it's learning has changed. And if you've
because of YouTube, they use
if
YouTube
you
all the
watch your
time.
kids try and navigate a device, it's so different than us. We pull out the instruction manual, we start to finish.
Right.
They start in the middle, and they just everything goes out. And that's how tablets are kind of feeding off that mentality where we start in the middle and go out.
Well, I resisted at first when my kids were growing up with the cell phones, and then once I gave in, I'm like, hey, this is kind of convenient.
Right, I get
because you're
that.
like, hey, where are you?
Track
I'm
your
late.
kids. You can do you
biggest
track your kids.
Well,
that
here's
way?
the latest research on how much they listen, and I was actually surprised at how much they do.
A survey out this morning gives us new insight into our kids and electronic devices. The report by Common Sense Media shows 2/3 of teens carry their own smartphones.
That's
the
it?
new survey finds tweens spend almost 6 hours a day on
6.
entertainment media,
6.
which includes things like listening to music or watching online videos. For teenagers, that number jumps to almost 9 hours.
Yeah.
9 hours a day? Is
It's
that
a
a good
fight.
thing?
You know, media and technology are not good or bad. It's all about how you use them.
How they are using it might come as a surprise. 66% of teens say they use technology to listen to music every day. 58% say they watch TV. But less than half say they use social media on a daily basis. And only about 1 in 3 say they like social media a lot.
Yeah.
You would think that there'd be a
Weird.
much higher percentage given how much time they feel that they're on it. But the truth is they feel they have to be there because their friends are.
Another big deal, multitasking. 60% of teens say they text while doing homework. And nearly 2/3 of those teens
multitasking
say
during
it
the show.
doesn't affect the quality of their work.
Multitasking actually
It affects
doesn't
the
exist.
Multitasking
Dr. Michael
doesn't
Rich
exist.
is with the Center on Media and Child Health.
That behavior actually ends up with greater number of mistakes and less retention of what is done.
But
That's
isn't there?
true.
They cannot be quiet with their thoughts, and that is
Right.
a problem. I think.
Right.
I think that they just can't sit. My daughter just had a Halloween party on Friday. A bunch of 8th graders. And there's maybe 2 of them that had phones there, and those 2.
Only 2, wow.
Only 2, and they were buried
Yeah,
in there,
yeah,
and they
yeah,
weren't. The other kids
yeah.
were interacting and having a great time, and the other ones are like, "Let's look at
Right.
this video. Let's look at this." It's like, why? You guys
Yeah.
are here all together. Talk to each other, hang out, have fun. It's silly.
My when he was 12 and it was summer, and we lived out there. Had the house for years and years, with sitting on 9 acres of woods, and it'd be summer, and he's sitting in the basement. There's nothing to do. I went, Reed, look out the window. There's Sherwood Forest. There's World War II out there right now. There's then his eyes started to light up and go, oh.
Yeah.
Then he called his friends.
Let me Google that. Yeah.
So they went out there and played in the forest.
Right.
Studies have shown that the addiction to cell phone is not dissimilar to addiction to drugs, and it's the constant validation and the quick. Yeah, I catch myself doing it like,
Dude, you've been doing it during the
I
show.
did. Yeah.
Guilty.
Oh, for sure.
You've got
For sure.
4 chats open.
Yeah.
It's even more difficult for like us as comics because this is
Yeah.
like my life. I
Yeah.
mean, like this.
Yeah.
This is how I get booked. This is
Yeah.
how
That's
I get.
when I started
Well, that's what
Facebook.
I'm
I
doing,
didn't do
booking.
Facebook
Yeah.
until I started comedy, and
Yeah.
my kids don't
Right.
have a Facebook.
Right.
I do think, however, that that Facebook is really for people who are older now. I think
absolutely.
the primary users of Facebook
Yeah.
are like 25 and like up now,
Yeah.
because the kids they're like Facebook's too old and slow for them. Like they
Yep.
want Snapchat.
Yep.
They want like quick. I want to share my life right now. They want Twitter. They want
Instagram,
Instagram.
Snapchat,
They don't
YouTube.
want Facebook. Facebook is too involved for them
Right.
to maintain a
Right.
profile and stuff like that. No one
Yeah.
gives a shit about Facebook
I'm
anymore.
curious what the 100-year, not even 100, but the 20-year outlook is and how this has shifted our culture and
Right.
our performance on tests and tasks and job
Well,
functions.
just how do you interact with people?
Yeah.
How do you look people in the eye when you talk to them? Do you
what now?
you put your hand out and
no.
shake their hand when you? That's lost in kids. I think.
You know, another thing that I think is hard too for entertainers is I feel like every time I master a new social media, like I got really good at Instagram, and as soon as I got really good at Twitter. The moment I got good at Twitter, Instagram showed up, and now I'm like, damn it, I got to learn a whole new thing and get new followers, and then. That I got pretty good at Instagram, and now Periscope is coming in.
I don't
and
know
now
what that
I'm
is.
like,
I wanna know.
Snapchat.
I want to fire up Periscope tomorrow during the show.
Periscope
What
is
is
cool.
it? Is it video?
It's on a
live
phone, right?
Oh my
video
god,
feed.
it's interesting. The way that I
You can
found
drive
it,
drunk on it.
I've heard of
You
that.
can cruise drunk on
So
it.
the way that I discovered Periscope was I found out about it and I opened it, and essentially it's just a way to live broadcast anything,
Right.
and then people can send you messages as you're doing things, and you can read them. So I went onto this map and I found this guy in Britain who was live broadcasting his visit to the grocery store. He was just in a grocery store buying stuff, and I told him to buy a Snickers bar, and he totally did. I was like, dude, give me Snickers.
It was
social change.
No, but the weird thing is that
and it's on the phone, right?
it's on the phone. The weird
gotta
thing is
get your
I'm
phone to do
laying
that.
in
I'm doing it
bed
right now.
in Minneapolis.
No, tomorrow.
Multitasking.
Save
and
it for
I got
tomorrow.
a guy
When
in
Neil's here.
London to buy a
Maybe we
Snickers
can
bar.
totally conquer ISIS with this.
Maybe.
With Periscope.
Oh, Twitter owns Periscope.
They do.
Nice business.
They do.
Okay.
So I just think that's kind of interesting that, obviously that's not a big deal, whatever, you bought a chocolate bar, but if I can do that across
Yeah.
the world, what else does that
crazy.
mean?
Yeah.
Punch
By
that
the way,
lady in the face.
Exactly.
I figured out RedTube. I hope that doesn't change.
What?
No, RedTube will stay.
Okay,
I don't know what
You
that
lost
is.
her.
That's because you're a woman.
Never mind.
It's a porn site.
Oh.
What?
What? There's porn online?
Hey,
How do I find
speaking
that?
of porn,
Is there an app for that?
The Vatican, there's some books coming out about how greedy they are. Hold on.
This morning, the Vatican is criticizing newly released claims of mismanagement and internal rebellion.
We're going over. We'll wrap this up quick. Hold on.
Some Catholic insiders are accused of financial greed and waste. Others are said to be blocking Pope Francis from making reforms.
The book is titled Merchants in the Temple, where Nuzzi says the Pope's men are lined up on one side, while on the other are his enemies, the defenders of the status quo, adverse to any and all change. That
Sounds
change
like a
was started
mini-series.
shortly after Pope Francis was elected.
Coming to
he set up a
theaters.
special commission to examine the
Directed by Ron
Vatican's
Howard.
finances. The book
Tom
claimed
Hanks
the
as the
commission
Pope.
found numerous shortcomings and areas where there was virtually no accounting for how money was spent. Nuzzi talks about how even the most sacred rituals are allegedly tainted by
Who
money.
is this guy? He
Like
sounds
the
like
procedures
a
for
weird Walter
beatification
Cronkite.
and canonization.
He's a CBS Network
a marketplace
reporter.
in which millions of dollars change hands. The second book, called Avarice, details a lavish lifestyle, like a $26,000 helicopter ride for the Vatican's then Secretary of State, later fired by the Pope, whose efforts at reform may be helped by these revelations.
There must be a cleanup of Vatican finances. So in a way, Pope Francis comes out looking really good.
There are other allegations, one earth-shaking, that the alleged corruption at the Vatican was one of the main reasons Pope Benedict resigned. The other sad, about Peter's pence, $400,000 sent in by churches to help the poor. It allegedly went instead to pay for Vatican Department office expenses.
Nice. Yeah, I don't love that. I mean, I don't think that surprises anyone. The Vatican is like one of the richest organizations ever.
And yet their rule book is all about the poor and feed
Right.
the poor. And so they say one thing,
They could
but then
like
present another.
They could take care of world hunger in like an entire country if they wanted to.
No, they couldn't.
I'm
You
sorry.
can feed people
I
for a
meant
little
world
bit.
hunger. I meant they could take care of hunger in one country, not world hunger.
Well, unless you get the dictators that are keeping their people hungry and taking all their food. It's
their
just,
money
it's more
could
than
go
just,
to use.
Right.
Like I just mean like infrastructure and stuff.
Yes.
Like they could set
Yeah.
up a lot of things for a lot of people.
Yes.
They could really help out welfare causes in America if they wanted.
Well, Catholic Charities does do a lot of that. I mean, they really do. I mean, they do a pretty good job.
It's such
of,
a small percentage.
Right.
That's like when Walmart donates. Like Walmart will go, we donated $5 million to this charity, and then you find out that $5 million is like a drop in the bucket as far as how much
couch
Walmart
money.
makes. Yeah,
And they get
that's
to write a bunch of it
that's
off.
pocket change for them.
Yeah.
So you always have to remember, like, no matter how big that sum of money is, what's the percentage of that company?
I
the
like
revenue.
I like the new pope, and hopefully he can continue to do more Jesus-like things instead of the corporation that has become the Vatican. Because
like,
it is big money.
I want him to cure the blind already.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Chuck and I love the new pope, right, Chuck?
Oh, he's actually I do like the new pope. All popes considered. All popes considered.
All popes
Are you
considered.
periscoping right now?
Yeah, I'm testing it
I
out.
asked you to wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, we're just trying. We're getting ready for
You're
tomorrow's
having a
feed.
great hair
Do
day.
we have?
You should do it today.
Chuck, I should know this, but I don't. Do we have like a main rabbi? Do we have like
Yeah,
the
there
rabbi?
actually is. There actually
Gabe
is.
Kaplan.
The rabbi.
Yeah, there's like a dude.
From Welcome Back, Cotter.
I mean, I assume he lives in. Does he live
Was
in?
it Dave?
I got comfortable
Wasn't
with my
Gabe.
it? Gabe. I think you said
Gabe.
Gabe. Yeah,
He lives
Gabe.
in the Wailing Wall. This rabbi, or like next to it, or something. He's just always hanging out there. I don't know who that is.
Welcome
Oh,
Back,
for
Cotter.
God's
Because
sake.
you're a fetus.
Damn
That's why.
millennials, you were a
know.
feed.
All right, I promised it, but here's Obama giving a rap on the Republicans yesterday, and I thought it was pretty succinct. And it's like, about time.
They occupy a different reality, it seems. According to them, everything was really good in 2008. When we were going through the worst economic crisis in our lifetimes, unemployment and uninsured rates were up, and we were hopelessly addicted to foreign oil, and bin Laden was still on the loose. This apparently was the golden age that I messed up. I messed it up. And Obamacare and immigrants and taxes and deficits all just messed everything up.
His
lost train of thought.
teleprompter went black there.
He ends on a good note, though.
If you went to a doctor, let's change that.
This point's okay. The better one, the last.
You go to 100 doctors, and 99 of them tell you you've got diabetes. You've got to stop eating bacon and donuts every day. And we have to monitor your health, and we got to fix this. You wouldn't say, "Oh, they're just that's a conspiracy. They're making that up." All 99 of those doctors got together with Obama to try to prevent me from having bacon and donuts. You wouldn't do that.
Right.
Have you noticed
This is
that
the last point.
every one of these candidates say, Obama's weak. He's Putin's kicking sand in his face. When I talk to Putin, he's going to straighten out. Just looking at him, he's going to be. And then it turns out they can't handle a bunch of CNBC moderators.
I thought that was a good point.
There's a really funny video I just watched last night of, you guys know Luther, the anger translator?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So Key and Peele did this great sketch where he was, or Obama's he's too mellow, he needs an anger translator. Well, there was I didn't know this, but Obama brought him on stage one time to do a thing, which is so cool.
Correspondence
dinner.
Good for Barack Obama to be to have that great of a sense of humor that he's all right, let's bring this other dude up to I'm sure they wrote it beforehand and proofread it and made sure that he wasn't going to say anything. Whatever.
Nothing spontaneous ever happens.
Obama can deliver a joke.
Yeah,
good for him for being able to Right. I wonder what other countries because they don't know Key and Peele. So I wonder if other countries were like, what's this clown?
Yeah.
Who's this guy? Is he important?
We got the next show waiting to come in. So Greg,
yes,
where can we see you?
I'm going to be at the Andover. I'm going to be in Andover at the.
No, I mean, where do you live? Can we come to your front yard?
Yeah, please.
You're going to be Andover where?
I'm going to be at the Courtyards of Andover on November 13th. I think I'm featuring for AJ Finney, who's a really, really funny comic. So definitely worth checking out that show. I've got a short film coming out pretty soon called Victor. I'll try to post the trailer for that, and then I'm also have another feature film that I shot 2 years ago that's coming out that's just now being done. It's just now finishing called Ice House, which will be kind of cool. So I'll have the trailer or something for that. Me,
Greg,
and then a couple. It's a indie that came out that we shot it about 2 years ago, and it's just now being done with just now finishing up on the edit and stuff. So
I wonder if we can find your episode of CSI on the internet somewhere.
Chicago PD.
It's
on Hulu.
Yeah. Chicago PD.
Yeah,
sorry,
it's on Hulu. You can check it out on Hulu. And I'm at the very last. I'm in the last 10 minutes.
I know. It's a 2-hour episode, and
I'm sorry I wasted your time, Chuck.
Valuable.
The Northern Sex Cast is coming on. We got to get out of here.
You guys should also check out the Alex Aaron Comedy Hour. Both Chuck and I are on that, and I'm sure Colleen will be on it eventually.
I guess.
We'll talk to you about it.
That's who we had on
a week
Alex Aaron. He's awesome.
Yep.
It's a great show.
I think I did one of the musings with him once already.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Greg, quick, name the song.
Supermart?
It's pop music.
I have no idea.
Remember, it's the same one that we were talking about earlier?
Oh, is it the same song?
His brain's not done developing. He's still a baby.
My prefrontal lobe.
Yeah.
Neil Justin coming in tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.